This riser here actually is quite a basic riser, but it actually explains in good detail how a system is put together. So the fire alarm system has two basic components, inputs and outputs. Inputs are things such as smoke detectors, heat detectors, anything of nature that requires something coming into the system because something happened in the building. And then the outputs is what's the outcome of that event. And different events have different reactions within the system. We'll actually get into a breakdown on most of the systems. These components right here are the actual components of a fire alarm system. I don't think there are any more than these. And with this number of devices, you can achieve just about anything done from a high-rise to McDonald's to Dunkin' Donuts. So with this riser heat details, and but the detail here shows that this is the fire alarm control panel. Then you have your incoming circuits right here. And these are your notification devices right here. So if a detector is activated, the horns and strokes will sound. And then the annunciation devices, your output communication to the outside world, get activated as well. That is the functionality of a fire alarm system. Control modules, monitor control modules, monitor modules, and multi-voltage relays is what actually performs the function of devices within a building via smoke dampers, air handling units, elevators, anything that requires the system to come to either a standstill or move people from one end to the other. Once the fire alarm system has been established inside, now you have the actual communication to the outside world. There's actually 3 ways of doing it. These two are actually the same thing, but they're not the same. So one is a master box. This is your typical local energy master box. And that's an aux box, and that's a beacon. This thing is connected to the fire department via an IMSA cable. It's a municipal loop. It is basically a giant fire alarm system, a cable that travels across the town and picks up master boxes all over town. They're also located on posts, telephone posts. What that does is that denotes a point in the fire alarm system or building that has been activated. Once this device is triggered, it goes directly to the Boston Fire Department. And then they receive an alarm and they show up to the building. These things have coded addresses on them. There's a little rotary dial inside of them that reports an actual number. This is a more upcoming device. It's called a radio transmitter box. Not all fire departments have it, but it uses a mesh type of system. So if you guys ever use like Zigbee or anything, it's what it is. It uses the signal as a repeater. You have a bunch of radio master boxes, and the signal jumps at a frequency to get to the fire department. There's no cables involved. It's basically just a radio transmitter device. They perform the same functions, but they're 2 different types of systems. This one right here is a central station. This is actually a code requirement for anytime you have a sprinkler building in the state of Massachusetts and in most states. You have to have a fire alarm system connected to the central station. A central station, what it does is when any of these systems are connected right here, when any of these systems are activated, it gets dialed out from this panel, out here, and out to the central station. This right here will pick up any point in the system, trouble, supervisory alarm. We'll get into this in a little bit. And 2 things will happen. The signal will get transmitted to the fire department. They'll know exactly what it is, where it came from, what is actually happening in the building, whether it be a stamper that went off, a flow switch that went off, a pull station that went off, or anything of that nature, as well as it can be available to notify the owner there's a problem in the building itself. Because a lot of owners don't have full communication with the building sometimes. Once we move out of there, we start breaking it down the fire alarm into components. So what we have here is this is a different type of control units. We have a fire command center, which is very complicated. It's not one piece of device. A fire command center is actually a a fire alarm control panel, which looks similar to that.